big difference in leadership and management. You see, we have to manage activities. And we can manage our people's activities, but we have to lead our people. Does this kind of make sense? But if we can lead them the right way, when a customer shows, what's the goal here? Sell more what? Let's keep it simple. We just want to sell more cars, is that right? Make more gross and have a lot of fun while we're doing it. We want to have a good time at work, and we want to work hard, and when we're done, we want to play what? That's really what it's all about. It's about our dreams, our goals, our families. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about our salespeople. And it's not, and for them, we have to show them, hey, it's not about you. It's about your customer. That's the difference. Now let's take a look at it. We were in a ditch over here, right? Now what if we had the skill to stay on the steps? What if we had the skill to go down this road? Will we close more or less? We close a lot more. Some dealers are closing 1 out of 10 really bad credit deals right now. And if you just put the process in place, maybe you could just increase it to 2 out of 10. You know what just happened? If you're a 100-car store, now you're a 200-car store. Like that. That can't happen overnight. You're right. It can happen right now. Why wait till overnight? We have to start now by making a decision. Now let's take a look at what it would look like if the process was running right inside of our store. Customer comes in, how much is it? Well, my used car manager handles all the prices on these vehicles, and I'll be happy to get that for you as soon as he's free. By the way, I wanted to ask, who's the lucky one? Who's getting a new vehicle, you or someone else? Well, it's going to be for me, but I talked to a really nice person on the phone, and they said I was already approved. They took me back away from building value and over here because they're full of doubt. They're kind of wondering if they're going to get approved or not, and they have doubt. Who has to instill the faith back into the customer? You think the customer is just going to come up with some faith all of a sudden? No, it's us. Remember, we're motivators. So now we motivate them. Well, the reason why we invited you into the dealership is because we do have a lender who's willing to work with you. We just need to get a little bit more information from you and see which way is the best way to help you. By the way, when you spoke to the nice person on the phone, did they ask you to bring any goodies with you? Maybe like a check stub or a phone bill, something like that? Yeah, I got it right here. We're back to what? The process? Building value? Is that right? What's my payments going to be? Well, that really depends on a few things. But payments is really the easy part. And I'm sure you want them as low as possible. That reminds me, I wanted to ask, speaking of payments, were you going to be trading your vehicle in or just getting another vehicle? Well, I'm going to be trading mine in. Well, that's awesome. We've taken a lot of them like that on trade lately. And I go right back to where? Listen, I can sit here all day long and show off my skills. That's not the point. I can give you bypasses, closes. I can give you hundreds of bypasses. I can make them up as I speak because I've practiced it so long. How do you get to a level of unconscious competence? I want you to write this down. My only guarantee in this business is my commitment to personal growth. My only guarantee in this business is my commitment to personal growth. I've watched dealers come up. I watch them fall. I watch people in trouble make it to the top. I've seen people in trouble that didn't make it. I've worked around really good car guys with a lot of talent. They did a really good job, but they didn't play their role. And they weren't committed to personal growth. They thought they had it licked. I'm making money. My bank account's full. Come on. Nobody in my family made this much money. Look what I got. And then later on it was, look what I had. I wish I would have just followed some of those things that you guys talked about. You know, I wish I made a real decision. Let's think about that word for a second. De, which means from's Latin root. And scission, which is from the word kaidir, which means to cut, sever, scission. Whenever you make a real decision, that means that you're cutting off every possibility of ever going back to what you were doing before. Period. I remember in 1995, a finance manager came to me and said, I made a decision. He didn't say it in those words. That's the trainer coming out of me. He said, this is what he said. He said, I'm never going back. I'm never going back. You ever heard of drawing a line in the sand? That's really what it means. Some of us just have flabby decision-making muscles. You see, this muscle here is being underworked. It's being underused. That's why we're getting flabby. You ever go to the gym, start working out, you get tight, things start going good. What happens when you quit going to the gym? What happens? It's the same thing. Well, in 1995, you said, I'm never going back. Didn't really understand. I thought it was kind of cocky. I don't think that today. Thank you. I don't think that today. You know, some of us, if we follow that trail, you won't believe the doors that'll open for you immediately. It's like, it's almost too easy. But if you're not committed to growing yourself, how can you ever give anything to anyone else? You know, our character is not determined by where we've been. Our character is who we are and what we're becoming. You see, if it was from where we've been, then I don't deserve to be here. Some of you don't deserve to be here. We got to get connected to our potential. We can't stay stuck in the past. Where's the past? That's where it should be, in the past. Some of us are looking at old hang-ups and past failures, and that's what's killing our business. And we already know what we need to do. I have a question. If everyone in here did what they knew that they should be doing, would you sell more cars in your dealership? Yes or no? Then how come we aren't? Personal growth. If you don't get anything else out of this whole entire week, and you get this one thing, your whole entire life will change. I'm not talking about the car business right now. Your whole entire life will change. Not forever, because you're going to have to keep it up. You see, our Creator created us to grow. We were created to strive, not to survive. We were created to thrive. You know, why does everything grow to the sun? Light and darkness cannot occupy the same space. It's impossible. Open your refrigerator. It's impossible. If you don't make a decision, if you don't make a commitment, they say always be closed, and change it. Turn it into always be committed. ABC. Quit trying to close everybody. Get committed. Leadership is to serve. Now, once you make a real decision, take action. If you don't take action, it's lip service. Another quick tip from Helmy. We can sit in this class and we can blah, blah all day. Guess what that is? Blah, blah. All day. Some of us are pulling the trigger too fast. We're calling our store. And we're trying to change things before we what? Don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to fail. Get your own stuff together. Helmy said it 3 days ago. 2 days ago. I don't even know how long we've been here. He said, some of you are going to hear some things and say, boy, I wish old so-and-so was here to hear that, because he's always making that mistake. He thinks he knows it all. I wish he could have heard that. Listen, this is happening for you. This is happening for me. This is happening for everyone that's in here. It's not for the person that's at home. People who seek to understand get it. People who judge never get it. Ever. You see, your ability is what gets you there. Your character keeps you there. And if you're not growing, what's going to happen? You're going to forget. And when you forget, you lose touch with reality. And when you lose touch, your head swells up. And when your head swells up, you're done. What happens right after pride? Does anybody know? You fall. You fall. I'm only as good as my salespeople. I'm only as good as the managers that are around me. I'm only as good as the people that are around me. That's it. I can't do anything on my own. I already know that. That's why I'm here. I already know that. It was Zig that said, Zig Ziglar, he said, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything and more. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want. You know, we got to read it in a book that was written yesterday. This stuff was written how many thousands of years ago? Thousands and thousands. Remember the basics? How long have they been around? But you know, there's a lot of things that are changing in our world. Is that right? That's what pulls us away. Now I want to know, what's one thing that you're going to do when you get back to your dealership? Let's keep first things first. Let's begin with the end in mind. 7 Habits, Stephen Covey. Let's begin with the end in mind. But what's first things first? How about you, Peter? Process?
Process.
Explain to me. What do you mean?
Going to teach it. Going to train my people every day. It's something that
How are you going to do that? That's a tall order. They're dependent on you. How are we going to do that?
Train them every day.
Train every day.
Every day.
That's it.
Lock the door.
That's it. Now, should we be prepared on what we train? Should we become masters of something before we teach it? You don't really necessarily have to be a master of it before you teach it, but you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. So, because your salespeople are going to shoot holes. Our customers, they're shooting holes in us. Our salespeople, they're shooting holes in you.
Isn't our salespeople the customers every day for us as management and leadership?
Yes, they are. That brings up a good point. Who writes our paycheck? Our customers. Remember that like, listen, believe? First, the customer has to like us. Then they believe us. Then they listen, and then they believe us. And then what happens? They buy. What about our salespeople? Johnny's just dumb as a box of rocks. Yeah, Johnny's going to be dumb as a box of rocks as long as Johnny works with you. You're absolutely right. Henry Ford says, if you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're right. Now, how are we conditioning Johnny? What else? Rich. First things first. What's happening?
My first thing is I got to prepare and train.
Got to get prepared to train. Now, how do we do that? We're going to have to get more knowledge, right? Ourselves. And then we're going to have to figure out what the next step is, right? We have to have a training schedule in place. And to start with, have a training schedule that's at least 6 weeks to start with, just to get started. At least 6 weeks. Help me set a training schedule for, 6 months. At least get your first 6 weeks. And always look at the last 3 months, but stay focused on the next 12 and anything that you do in our industry. Look at the last 3 months. Listen, if you sold 9 cars last month and you're a salesperson and you sold 10 cars the month before that and you sold 21 the month before that, are you a 21 car a month salesperson? What's 21, 10? My math's not very good. I told you I'm from Louisiana. 21, 10, and 11. Add it up. What's the average? 13. You're a 13 car a month salesperson. Some of our salespeople that are 13 car a month salespeople are walking around telling people they're a 21 car salesperson because that's what they sold last July. Let's look at things at how they are Not how we want them to be, and not how they should be, and not worse than they are either, because we don't want to beat ourselves up, do we? Let's look at them for how they really are. And then we'll get to work. We'll get to work on it. And that's a good point, Rich. We need a training schedule. We need a training schedule. What else? How about you, Robin? Starts with me. It's awesome. Starts with me. How about you, Todd? Follow the system. You don't do it. That's a good message, you know. And we don't want to... Helmy said that it's false evidence that appears real. And we don't want to congratulate and reward for mediocrity. That's the worst thing we can do. I mean, a salesperson is selling 25 cars a month and a salesperson is sells 6 cars a month. Do they reap the same benefits and rewards, and are they entitled to more if they're selling 25 a month? Yes! That's not fair. What do you mean it's not fair? They should get rewarded. Does that kind of make sense? Yes or no? We can't treat them all the same. They have to be a little bit different. But first, we have to be the example. So we have to do some training. Listen, I train every single day. I train every single day. If I'm going to be someone who's going to come up and teach, I better know what I'm teaching. And it's the same. Listen, I'm not doing this because I wanted to come do a seminar. I'm doing this because I wanted to be the best that I could be at selling cars. I had no idea. Helmy, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, what will you be doing 10 years from today? And I'd say I'd be out speaking to dealers all over the country, training, doing seminars. Is that what you have said?
Yeah.
It starts where? I'll tell you where it starts. It starts right here. All this knowledge is good, but if you don't have heart, you don't have anything. Listen, I'll take a salesperson who's never sold a car in their entire life, or I'll take someone that's never been in the car business in their entire life, but if they have the burning desire, if they have the attitude, and listen, I'm not talking about just like a bad attitude either. I'm talking about the attitude that I will win. That's what I'm talking about. I will sell 20. I will have a team of green berets because I made a decision and I'm a leader. I'm going to manage people's activities, but I'm going to lead people. And stop trying to manage people. People are people. They're not stuff. We can't manage them. We have to lead them. How about you, Fior? What's one thing, that you picked up that you want to engage with? I have an action plan for you guys to get to work with for your salespeople. Who wants an action plan? I'm going to give you a plan. I'm going to give you a plan that you can put in place and you can present to your salespeople. And if they follow it, they'll have the best year they ever had in their entire life. Now, will every one of them do it? Well, some of them won't be there. Helmy used to start the month out like this at the dealership. Congratulations on a good month. We'd celebrate. Did we party? Josh, did we party at the dealership? Did we celebrate being number one? Of course we did. We shut down clubs. We shut down places and just took it over to celebrate. But once we finished celebrating, it was time to go back to what? To work. If you're still celebrating victories from yesterday, then you're not doing nothing right now. So when we got back to work, Helmy would say something like this: somebody is going to have the best month that they ever had. Or somebody is going to make 20 grand this month. But he also said that someone in here is not going to make it. You might even get cut. Some of your rolling averages aren't there. And we look at the levels. We had levels. You know what level the salesperson was at? By their rolling average. Not by their best month, not by their worst month, but by their average. And he said, some of you just won't be here. Listen, if you ever take the attitude that, well, they just won't get it, they won't. But if you will give them everything you can, the ones that want to go to greatness will. And you've taken that ceiling off of that person. You've allowed them to excel. We lost managers. We lost salespeople. Not everybody got on the train. It's okay. But it's just constant and never-ending improvement. The key word, constant. Every single day. Every single day. Every single day.